you understand?
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Welcome to another episode of Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network right here in the city of Port Harcourt. News, events and stories abound in the state system. ATN's appetite for in-depth, unbiased and factual reportage is the driving principle for this program in order to bring government activities to the doorstep of the people. And now let's go over to the highlights of today's reports. In Rivers State, Governor Fubara warns local government chairman against disrespecting him. Army uncovers heavily loaded armory in Delta State. In Judiciary, Attorney General of the Federation.
Trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable
You understand?
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable
You understand?
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
so no agreement with the EU, but
Welcome back, and now we head into the details for today. River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has sounded a note of warning to the local government chairman in the state, declaring that those disrespecting him as governor of the state have already dug their pits and will soon fall into it. Fubara made the declaration on Thursday while speaking at the commissioning of the Comprehensive Primary Health Care Center in Ndoni, Oba Egbema Ndoni local government area of the state, which was built and donated to the state government by former Governor Peter Odede. Fubara made the declaration on Thursday while speaking at the commissioning of the Primary Healthcare Center donated to the state by Peter Odede. Move on. The governor specifically berated some local government chairmen in the state for refusing to participate in state government activities because their loyalty lies elsewhere. He said, "I am surprised that I saw the local government chairman of Oba Egbema Ndoni here. I am very surprised because I know that for a very long time, any event that has to do with the state government or the local government chairman, as it were, do not participate. I hope that when he leaves here, they are not going to sack him. I know that you are not loyal to me. Are they not going to sack you? Or when you leave here, you will grant a press interview as it was not you, that it was not your shadow. Let me say it here. Every one of you who thinks he is disrespecting me, you have already dug your pit and you will fall inside. Siminalayi Fubara, like a river, will flow in a direction that there is no resistance. One way or the other, we will get to our destination and we will go with our people." A former governor of River State, Peter Odede, has endorsed Governor Siminalayi Fubara as the political leader of the state. Former governor also praised the governor for defending the interest of the people. Odede, who ruled River State between 1999 and 2007, said the Fubara has attained the position of leadership, having secured his electoral victory both through the ballots and the courts. He spoke on Thursday at the commissioning of a primary healthcare center donated by his Pamo Foundation in Ndoni. The ex-governor warned that if River State sneezes, the entire Nigeria will catch cold, urging Fubara to act with this awareness in all your decisions. According to him, Fubara has made significant strides in critical sectors within the first year on office. Odede encouraged the governor to maintain this alignment with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his policies to attract federal government's attention and support the state. "Thanks for standing up to defend the interests of all Rivers people. We are proud of you. Politics is over. It is now time for governance. You have hit the ground running," he said. "Your government is aligning correctly with President Tinubu's government, especially in the areas of education, agriculture, and now health sector. Our people say that I should tell you to stand with the president and align with his positive policies and link the people of River State with the center. They have asked me to tell you that you are the political leader of River State. Rivers people say where you go, they will go with you. Where you stand, they will stand with you. Don't look back and stay focused, knowing that your people are behind you." There's more news, but don't forget you can connect with us and watch us on our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. And on X, formerly Twitter, we are on Atlantic TV Net, and watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. On to other stories. The Delta State Police Command on Thursday displayed 12 suspects for different crimes, including a standout crime of a 17-year-old boy who faked his kidnap in Abo. Displaying the suspects at the police headquarters in Asaba, the state capital, Commissioner of Police Abaniwanda Olufemi stated that the teenager had already used up the paid ransom before being arrested. He said on March the 20th, 2024, the DPO of Abo Division received a complaint on the suspected of a 17-year-old boy in Okumera quarters of Abo-Obi. The suspect forwarded a voice note to his sister stating that he had been kidnapped and that the kidnappers were demanding 1 million naira. The DPO swung into action, acting on a technically generated intelligence, and arrested 3 suspects. Investigations revealed that the 17-year-old connived with his friends and faked his kidnapping. Before they were arrested, they had already collected a ransom of 700,000 naira and had squandered the money. An investigation is ongoing. Olufemi, who also lamented the rate of hard drugs in the streets, said that the command is currently working on the synergy with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency to address the menace in society. According to him, on April the 6th, 2024, operatives of the EagleNet Special Squad, while on a routine trip along Asaba-Abo Expressway in Sele Asaba, flagged down a white Toyota Hiace bus driven by one Sunday Eze, 53 years of age. The bus and the driver were subjected to a search during which 375 bottles of CSP codeine and 44 bottles of CSC codeine, 120 sachets of tramadol and 33 sachets of Swinol were recovered from him. While appealing to members of the public, particularly Deltans, to cooperate with the police and other security agencies in the fight against crime and criminality by providing credible information. Olufemi said that the command had made a lot of achievements within the period under review. He directed all divisional police officers to sustain raids that identified black spots and drug dealers in their areas of responsibility, embark on visibility patrol, stop and search duty, and ensure that crime and criminality do not thrive in their area. All Progressive Congress presidential aspirant in the 2023 elections, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, is dead. Onu, who was the first civilian governor in Abia State, died in Abuja on Thursday. Former President Muhammadu Buhari had in November 2015 appointed Onu as the Minister of Science and Technology. Onu's last major public appearance was during the APC primary elections in 2022, when he alleged injustice against the people of the Southeast and resigned his position as minister on May the 6th, 2022 to join the APC's presidential race, which he lost to President Bola Tinubu. Unrelated to this, Senator Orji Uzokalo, the former Abia governor, has expressed sadness over the death of the first civilian governor of the state, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, and describing him as a consummate politician and philanthropist. The Senate Committee Chairman on Privatization acknowledged Onu's contribution to national building, even as he urged his family to be consoled, as their late patriarch lived a purposeful life. Carlo, in a condolence message issued by the media office in Abakaliki, described Onu as a frontline politician, author, engineer, and former Minister of Science, Technology, and Innovation, as well as a nationalist with passion for unity and progress of Nigeria, adding that his wise counsel on national issues will be greatly missed, as he will be remembered for his outstanding leadership qualities. And still related to this, President Bola Tinubu has mourned the first civilian governor of Abia State and former Minister of Science, Technology, and Innovation, Ogbonnaya Onu, who died on Thursday at the age of 72. A statement signed by his special advisor on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, Tinubu described Onu as a luminous star in Nigeria's political firmament. Tinubu extended his condolences to the family of Onu, whom he praised for being a principal draftsman in the founding of All Progressive Congress and a valiant partner in the victory of the party in the 2015 elections. Tinubu also said the late Onu epitomizes Nigeria in concord and wholeness as the late statesman who believed and defended Nigeria's unity as well as peace and promoted fellowship across the Niger. The president also condoled with Onu's friends and associates, Ebonyi and Abia State governments, and all Nigerians about the gaping loss, and prayed God to grant the repose and gentle soul of this leader to rest. The Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has shut down the Dosumu market in Lagos Island after a fire outbreak on Tuesday. Correspondent reports at least 14 buildings were completely destroyed by the fire and 4 structures collapsed, resulting from the incident on Tuesday. Reports say that the fire was caused by careless refueling of a generator in the penthouse of one of the buildings. Sharing pictures from his visits on his Facebook page on Thursday, Sanwo-Olu wrote, "Dear Lagosians, following the tragic fire at Dosumu Market, I visited the site to assess the damage and meet with affected individuals. The fire, a result of manhandling flammable materials, led to significant loss. We have initiated a full investigation to determine the cause and implement stricter safety protocols. An integrity test on standing structures is now mandatory, and Dosumu Market will remain closed until we ensure that the safety of all structures and compliance with regulations. Unapproved buildings will be demolished, and the Ministry of Physical Planning will intensify its efforts to enforce building codes and prevent misuse of residential properties. We cannot overlook the safety of our citizens, and I assure all affected that we are exploring every avenue to assist you and prevent future incidents." Pressmen gathered that the goods worth millions of naira were also destroyed in the fire that started around 10 a.m. on Tuesday. The fire was said to have started in a 3-story building on Jankara Street before spreading to other adjoining buildings in the market. Lagos State Police Command's Rapid Response Squad. The men have on Thursday executed a broad-scope overnight operations, bringing about the arrest of 43 suspects across the black spots in Oshodi and its environs. This was made known in a statement shared on the command's X account on Thursday. They said the arrest was carried out in notorious spots in the area, recovering a semi-automatic pistol in another incident in the same day. The raid, which was carried out in Anthony, Bolade Oshodi and Oshodi Terminus, was sequel to credible intelligence about the activities of undesirable elements in those areas. The pistol was recovered in Opebi, Ikeja, when the commander of the Rapid Response Squad, CSP Olayinka Egbeyemi, deployed a team from the squad to verify information received from the members of the public. Also recovered during the discreet operations were 2 9mm caliber and 1 expended ammunition. The 43 suspects are those found culpable after a thorough screening of all arrested suspects by the commander of the RRS. They are to be charged to court immediately. Analysts have blamed the Federal Road Safety Corps on its inability to ascertain and implement active road safety modules to help reduce the increasing rate of road accidents across the country, especially during festive periods. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network's Blowout, a socio-political analyst, Lawrence Obukohia, said that the Federal Road Safety Corps have declined in its efforts of ensuring road safety across the country. Meanwhile, Gifton Jamala also said that the need for proper orientation of motorists and commuters should be a consistent responsibility.
You know, we all clamor for good roads, but we are not being taught on how to use these roads. You see, every person will just take a vehicle, drive within the neighborhood, learn for 1-2 days, and you see the person entering the express without knowing what the signs on the road are. And you ask yourself, when something happens tomorrow, we come to blame the road safety. Yes, to an extent, they share the blame, to the extent that they have not been able to educate the masses enough to have some of these things.
This is coming after 3 people lost their lives while 2 others were injured on Wednesday in a lone crash around Fidiwo Bridge along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Kogi State Governor Alhaji Usman Ododo and the former Governor Alhaji Yahaya Bello have expressed their condolences to the former Governor of the state Alhaji Ibrahim Idris following the death of his son Mohammed. Mohammed was a former member representing Ankpa, Alamaburu, and Omala Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, and in a condolence message signed by his special advisor on media, Ismaila Issa, Ododo described the death of the late federal lawmaker as a tragic loss. The governor described the late Mohammed as an older brother in whom he had found a worthy compatriot, noting that their last meeting was in March 2024 when he came in the company of stakeholders from Omala local government area on a solidarity visit to him as the governor, of which they had useful discussions on plans for the development of the state. The governor urged the family to take solace in the fact that the deceased lived a life filled with worthy accomplishments as a politician and a businessman, and prayed that Allah grant the former lawmaker eternal rest and for his family to find the fortitude to bear the loss. Bello also extended words of solace to the grieving father, Ibrahim Idris, stressing that Muhammad lived a life of peace and served as a shining example for others to follow. Kebbi State Governor Nasiru Idris has called on Islamic scholars to stop using the pulpits to advance their political and selfish interests. Idris gave the address and advice when he received the Emir of Gwandu, Alhaji Muhammad Bashiru, who paid him a Salah homage at the government house in Burning Kebbi on Thursday. It is glaring that some ulama mount the pulpits to use the tafsir sections to castigate leaders and cast aspersions on their persons for smear campaign or self-fulfillment. I am also not immune from such acts. Such an unholy attitude must cease to safeguard the sanctity of religion and protect the dignity of leaders, the governor said. The ulama, he emphasized, should uphold their values as molders of good character and morality and stop soiling the faith because of their personal aggrandizement. The governor acknowledged the support and cooperation of the Gwandu Emirate Council to his administration. He tasked the traditional institution in the state to sustain prayers for peace and prosperity in the country. The governor also expressed happiness with the resuscitation of the annual Durbar, which was suspended for many years. Top commander of the Islamic State Army 144 Battalion Operation Hadinkai, Zagazalo Makama, a counter-insurgency expert and security analyst on the Lake Chad region, said the commander, known as Abu Saidu, was nabbed in the Madagali area of Adamawa State. Makama said that Saidu was nabbed alongside other suspected terrorists following an intelligence operation. A statement by Makama said that the terrorist kingpin, who was among one of the most wanted criminals in the list of security agencies, was apprehended in a sting operation carried out by the troops at the Mubi Market General area on April the 9th, 2024. Saidu was alleged to be the mastermind of the attack on Askira town on November the 12th, 2021, where a commander of the 28th Task Force Brigade and 3 soldiers paid the supreme sacrifice as they provided reinforcements in a counter-offensive against the terrorists, while items recovered from the suspects include 3 mobile phones, 3 ATM cards, 1 wristwatch, 4 rings, and a bunch of keys, and 1,900 naira. You are watching Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back shortly after this break. Please stay.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
On the point of order.
Honorable
On the point of
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
from the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only around 8 a.m.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
On the point of order,
Honorable
on the point of
on them. They are not picking our calls. They made up their mind.
so no agreement with the EU, but
Welcome back to Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network right here in the great city of Port Harcourt. And now to the rest of our stories. An Air Force cadet identified as Emmanuel Chidebere Onyemere Neche reportedly died in a swimming pool tragedy on Tuesday. He died in the swimming pool of Damgrit Hotel in Umuahia, the Abia State capital. The source who spoke with the press on the condition of anonymity said that the deceased went to the facility to swim at a time the pool was undergoing renovation. It is, however, not clear if the victim was informed about the ongoing renovation exercise before he dived into the pool. His body was later recovered by men of the Abia State Fire Service and later confirmed dead at the Federal Medical Center, Umuahia. He was rescued with his swimming trunks, indicating that he apparently had prepared to swim before the unfortunate incident happened. He was said to have disappeared from the pool at about 6:37 p.m. on Tuesday, but was recovered around 9:58 p.m. The swimming pool was said to be in a bad shape, making the rescue effort difficult. According to reports, there was equally no divers to assist in the rescue efforts till the arrival of the men of the State Fire Service. The Army Public Relations Officer of 14th Brigade, or Hafia, Lieutenant Innocent Omale, confirmed the incidents. According to him, the late Onyemere Neche was said to be hanging out with his friends when he suddenly decided to jump into the swimming pool. As at the time of this report, investigation is still ongoing on the circumstances surrounding the death of the cadet. The Nigerian Army troops have on Thursday uncovered an armory containing significant cache of arms and ammunition at the residence of a suspected gun runner in Olota community and adjoining communities in Ueli South local government area of Delta State. A statement by the Nigerian Army posted on its official X handle on Thursday said that the troops during the raid arrested 3 suspects and recovered large cache of arms during the operation. The statement said that the troops responding to actionable intelligence raided the identified armory concealed in the residence of one Mr. Kenneth, a notorious gun runner in the community. A statement said that following the search of the armory, troops recovered 1 G3 rifle, 853 rounds of 7.62 mm NATO, and 16 rounds of 7.62 mm specials. The troop further extended search to other adjoining locations within the community and recovered recovered 4 G3 rifles and magazines, 1 pump-action semi-automatic gun and 3 submachine guns and magazines, as well as 476 live cartridges. The troops also recovered 5 locally fabricated guns, a large plastic bag containing substances suspected to be cannabis sativa, and 2 speedboats with 75 horsepower outboard engines. Troops of Operation Hadarin Daji have reportedly attacked some bandit camps in Zamfara state, forcing the terrorists to flee en masse. Press gathered that recently the bandits were losing ground following the OPHD's troops' operations both on the ground and in the air, delivering serious attacks on their targets. The latest offensive included airstrikes on the Bayan Ruwa General Area and Bayan Dutsin, Gidan Kano, among other locations, resulting in the destruction of bandit camps. Operations across Zorumi, Kaura Namoda, Maradun, Safe, and other areas have significantly outtailed banditry activities. This medium also learned that from a reliable security source that numerous high-profile bandit leaders, including Sani Dangote, Kachala Chaki, Lamo Saude, along with over 50 foot soldiers were confirmed to have been neutralized. Recall that Zamfara State have been grappling with insecurity for over a decade, resulting in the loss of thousands of lives, widespread abductions, for ransom and injuries, and destruction of properties amounting to billions of naira. Recently, the army troops foiled bandits' operations between Anka Bagega axis in Anka local government area of the state, where the bandits blocked the road. Military sources say that the terrorists could not withstand the pressure and had to retreat to the forest with various degrees of injuries. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, has claimed that the electricity tariffs that were recently increased will reduce if the exchange rate falls below 1,000 naira to $1. Adelabu made this comment when he appeared on an interview with pressmen on Thursday. On April the 3rd, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission announced the removal of subsidy on the electricity consumed by Band A consumers and customers. Band A customers now pay 255 naira per kilowatt per hour, and a hike from the 68 naira per kilowatt hour, while others maintain the old tariffs. But Adelabu has now given conditions for a possible reduction. The tariff is flexible. I can tell you, if the naira gains more and the exchange rate becomes low below from 1,000 to $1, it must positively affect the tariff. And the tariff, even for Band A, will come down below 225 naira per kilowatt hour, and we are currently charging. There are variable factors that go into the composition of the tariff, and we are not closing our eyes to it, Adelabu said. Minister of Power also, Adebayo, has apologized to Nigerians over his comments about people leaving their freezer and air conditioners on. Addressing journalists at the ministerial press briefing a week ago, Adelabu criticized Nigerians who keep their freezers and air conditioners on when they are not at home. He said Nigerians lack the culture of power consumption management due to its affordability. He had said a lot of people will come back from work and they want to have dinner, or they want to see their colleagues down the road, and they switch on the AC for the room to be cooling before they come back. Some people will be going to work in the morning. A freezer that you left on for days, they will still leave it on. And when all items in the freezer are frozen and 5, 6, 8 hours of their absence will not make it to defreeze, they will still leave it to be consuming power just because we are not paying enough. We have all been overseas before. We know how conscious the power consumers are about electricity consumption. And appearing on an interview with pressmen, the minister said that he had no intention to insult anyone. It was never intended to insult the sensibility of Nigerians. Sincerely, if you watch the video very well, I never said people should switch off their freezers, he said. It was actually an innocent advice with regards to energy consumption. and management, which we believe will go a long way in reducing people's energy bills. And that advice was actually directed to those we believe, because of the recent increase in tariff that started enjoying 20 to 22 hours of power supply. What I said was that the fact that the electricity tariff for Band A, which is 15% of electricity consumers, will increase by over 200%, does not necessarily translate to 200% of their electricity bills if power is managed in terms of consumption. But the example of the freezer well may not have gone down well with majority of Nigerians, and I'll say, oh, sorry about that. It was never my intention to insult anybody. It was just out of my passion and eagerness to see that we make a change in the sector, which has suffered a lot of setback for some years. In fact, the example I gave there were the air conditioners. A lot of people leave them on while they are still not in the room. Sincerely, it was passed across jokingly. It was just a comical illustration and never intended to insult anyone. So to Nigerians who feel offended by the statement, I say sorry, forgive us. This is our country. Continuing, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelebo, has assured Nigerians that the country will generate 6,000 megawatts of electricity in the next 6 months. Adelebo stated this while featuring on interviews with pressmen on Thursday. According to him, the country currently generates and transmits over 4,000 megawatts, which he said has minor issues at the stage of distribution. The minister, who said he had identified the challenges facing the power sector and the solutions, said the President Bola Tinubu's administration is determined to solve the problems facing the sector. He said that the current government has sought the support of experts and stakeholders to identify the problems of the power sector and the way out. We are currently at a little over 4,000 megawatts today. We are working tirelessly day and night to ensure that we are able to ramp up generation to 6,000 megawatts for the first time in the history of this country. The family of the late former chairman of the Nigerian Exchange Group, Abimbola Ogunbanjo, who was killed in a Southern California helicopter crash in February, has filed a lawsuit against the U.S. helicopter company. This is coming after the former Chief Executive Officer of Access Holdings, Dr. Herbert Wigwe, his wife and son were also on board the ill-fated helicopter, while the Ogunbanjo family said the flight should have been grounded because of treacherous weather. Ogunbanjo's wife and 2 children have filed a lawsuit in San Bernardino County Superior Court and against Orbit Air and the CEO, Brady Bowas, alleging wrongful death and negligence. The suit also includes the unidentified successors of Pettigrew and Hansen, whom Ogunbanjo's family says holds the reasonable to be held responsible. Orbit Air did not provide any comment on the matter. The National Transportation Safety Board is currently investigating the crash. The lawsuit seeks a jury trial for Ogunbanjo's burial expenses, funeral expenses, and other damages. Rob, the law firm representing Ogunbanjo's family, previously represented by Vanessa Bryant in her lawsuit against Kobe Bryant's fatal helicopter crash in 2020. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, has revealed that a new move to make Nigerians access justice unhindered is underway. According to him, most of the laws, including electoral laws, are to be updated under a new justice sector reform. At a media briefing in Abuja yesterday, the AGF said that the Federal Ministry of Justice and the Nigerian Bar Association, we are putting together a new national summit on the judicial sector and the justice sector, where all factors hindering the effectiveness of the Nigerian laws will be tackled. He stated that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would, on April the 24th, 2024, declare the national summit open to address critical challenges in the nation's justice sector in Abuja. According to Fagbemi, the anticipated National Summit on Justice holding from April the 24th to 25th, 2024 at the auditorium of the National Judicial Institute in Abuja will be hosted by the Federal Ministry of Justice alongside the Nigerian Bar Association and the Nigerian National Judicial Council. The summit, with the theme Repositioning the Justice System, Constitutional, Statutory and Operational Reforms for Access and Efficiency, the minister said it will address the significant challenges plaguing nation's justice sector and pave the way for much-needed reforms that will make justice more accessible to all Nigerians. He further stated that the summit will bring together experts, legal professionals, and key stakeholders from across the country to engage in constructive discussions and develop practical solutions to prioritize the justice needs of the average Nigerian. He added that the summit will feature a keynote address by Dr. Willie Mutunga, a renowned legal scholar, jurist, and former Chief Justice of Kenya, celebrated for his commitment to democratic principles and human rights and for the transformative judicial reform that took place in Kenya on his watch. One of the summit's goals, the minister said, is to review, validate, and adopt the revised national policy on justice 2024 to 2028 to drive prison reforms, access to justice for the average Nigerian, as well as the review of electoral laws and procedures in handling election-related cases, amongst several other reforms. He added that the summit will deliberate on draft legislations proposed to address specific identified challenges within the justice sector relating to judicial appointment processes, administration, funding, budgeting for the judiciary, and the elimination of delays and inefficiencies in justice delivery. It will equally evolve ways to reduce the amount of time for the adjudication of cases, eliminate some of the associated technicalities, and reduce the number of cases getting to the Supreme Court. The country cannot afford to remain complacent in the face of the obstacles impeding the efficient delivery of justice for all Nigerians, he asserted, adding that the summit will present an opportunity for us to unite our efforts, leverage our collective expertise, and chart a course towards a more just and equitable society. Fagbemi expressed the hope that this National Summit on Justice will usher in a new era of positive change and progress in the country's judicial sector, ensuring a fair, accessible, and efficient legal system that upholds the rule of law while safeguarding fundamental human rights. The federal government said it is planning to raise the amounts that will save this year following the recent hike in electricity tariff for Band A customers to 1.5 trillion naira. It is said about 2.5 million meters will be installed this year in a bid to bridge the metering gap across the country and ensure consumers pay the right amount for electricity, while the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, said that the move by government to withdraw electricity subsidy from 15% of power consumers in Nigeria will save the government about 1.1 trillion naira annually. Onanuga said that the President Bola Tinubu-led administration was poised to allow the price hike in electricity given its 450 billion naira budget for energy subsidies in 2024. In a document on issues around the tariff hike, the Federal Ministry of Power, signed by the media aide to the Power Minister, Bolaji Tunji, the government said it would save 1.5 trillion naira with the recent tariff adjustments, while subsidy on electricity was withdrawn completely from the tariff of consumers on the Band A category, which constitutes about 15% of the 12.82 million power consumers across the country. In view of the prevalent security and economic threats in the West African nations, the member representing the Akwa Ibom Northeast Senatorial District, Senator Aniekan Basi, has called on member nations of the Economic and Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to unite and tackle the menace. Bassi, who is a member of the ECOWAS Parliament and Deputy Chairman of the Senate Committee on Agriculture, Production Services and Rural Development, made the appeal after the inaugural plenary session of the 6th legislature of the ECOWAS Parliament. He said with proper integration of member states and a united front, the region can increase its trade volume and tackle the security challenges as well as count its gains in agriculture and health sectors. While suing for peace in the region, the senator pledged the determination of the parliament to work to ensure the economic growth of member nations by addressing the identified challenges. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration Control has banned the sale of Dex luxury bar soap due to the presence of butyrphenyl methylpropional. The statement posted on NAFDAC's official channel said that the product Dex luxury bar soap manufactured in Turkey contains BMHCA, a substance prohibited in cosmetic products due to its potential harm to the reproductive system and skin sensitization, and also prohibited in cosmetic products due to its risks of harming the reproductive system, causing harm to the health of the unborn child, and may cause skin sensitization. The statement said that the product is not on the NAFDAC database. Importers, distributors, retailers, and consumers are advised to exercise caution and vigilance within the supply chain to avoid the importation, distribution, sale, and use of the above-mentioned product. NAFDAC also advised healthcare professionals and consumers to report any suspicion of adverse reactions or substandard and falsified regulated products to the nearest NAFDAC office. The Nigeria Meteorological Agency has predicted sunshine and thunderstorms from Thursday to Saturday nationwide. NIMET's weather outlook released in Abuja forecasts sunny skies on Thursday with a few patches of clouds over the northern region and prospects of thunderstorms over parts of Taraba during the afternoon and evening hours. The agency said the cloudy skies with intervals of sunshine are to be expected over the north-central region with prospects of thunderstorms over parts of Kwara, Kogi, Benue, and the Federal Capital Territory. NIMET's forecasts that the southern region of the country will be predominantly cloudy with chances of morning thunderstorm over parts of Cross River and Akwa Ibom states. The forecast for Friday, according to the agency, is sunny skies with a few patches of clouds over the northern region during the morning hours, while the north-central region is expected to be cloudy with spells of sunshine during the morning periods, and also predicted isolated thunderstorms over parts of Ondo, Enugu, Imo, Edo, Akwa Ibom, Delta, Rivers, Lagos, Bayelsa, and Cross Rivers states later in the day.